Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. You're listening to another episode of Newsflash. On the show today, in seeking to join a suit about subpoena power, we'll fill you in about how Mick Mulvaney may end up suing the president. We'll take a look at that funny little story to start off today's show. Also, we're going to be talking about how voters turned Virginia from deep red to solid blue over the course of just really 4 to 8 years, just 2 election cycles. So, we'll also take a look at Michael Bloomberg's entry into the race and the general trend, really, of billionaires trying to buy our elections, like what's going on in Seattle, no one's talking about. Take a look at the media's right-wing bias, James O'Keefe, and the death of the rude press from somebody who really was a key figure in its rise, Alex Perrine of the New Republic, to end up the show. It's going to be very exciting to get to that. But first, we got a very funny kind of story. Even in a White House of never before, this may be one of the more head-spinning developments we've ever really seen. The president's chief of staff is trying to join a lawsuit against the president. How's that possible? Well, we'll explain here. Mick Mulvaney, according to the New York Times, works only 50 steps away from the Oval Office as he runs the White House staff, but rather than simply obey President Trump's order not to cooperate with House impeachment investigators, he sent lawyers to court Friday night asking a judge whether he should or not just obey Trump's order about not cooperating with the House impeachment. To obtain such a ruling, the lawyers asked to join a lawsuit already filed by a former White House official, a lawsuit that names the Honorable Donald J. Trump as a defendant along with congressional leaders. So the lawyers tried to finesse that by saying that in the body of their motion that the defense they really wanted to sue was the congressional leaders, but their own motion still listed Trump as the top defendant because that is the suit they sought to join. So they have to join it, even though they said in the body of the suit that, okay, we don't want to sue Mr. Trump. We just want to sue the congressional leaders originally. We don't want to take our guy to task here, but guys, they're still suing him. That's the funny thing. So yeah, that's bound to create some awkward situation, that's for sure. In fact, Mulvaney hopes the court will tell him whether to listen to his own boss, which, I mean, again, it's something that, I mean, you probably shouldn't need a court to tell you. You should probably just try and do the right thing here, right? Like, no matter what your boss says, you should probably be compelled to your own morals and things, right? I mean, I guess, but we're dealing with Trump administration people here, so in effect, Mulvaney hopes the court is going to try and tell him what to do. That put Mulvaney at odds with some other current White House officials and administration officials who had simply just defied the House, had no problem ignoring subpoenas, which for some reason somehow is just a normal practice. I mean, you can really easily do in the Trump administration, which to me I just find so amazing, because if this were to happen really anywhere else, there would just be an onslaught of criticism and just an onslaught of saying the whole idea of this White House is above the law. Like, this would be a huge deal in the media coverage. And again, it's something that we've really struggled with ever since Trump first came on the political scene. It's like, how is all the stuff that he does that so many other people have gotten in trouble for, how does it just seem to just glance right off him? And nobody's even, no one's even talking about it. In some other cases that people have actually talked about it, people have said, hey, this is a thing that you're not supposed to be able to do and be able to survive. Like, when he started his campaign by, again, calling Mexican immigrants criminals and rapists. Like, people have talked about some of that stuff, but the crazy thing is, no one really seems. I mean, we hear it from some people who like left-wing hand-wringers really about this kind of stuff, but we never hear the fact that, like, again, just the amount of like, if Barack Obama did this, if George Bush did this, just regularly ignoring subpoenas, like, that's just not how our justice system is supposed to work. And what I really I just don't have an answer for this is, why is he allowed to do this? Like, how is this supposed to be okay? Because ignoring a subpoena, like, that is a serious violation and just flagrant disrespect of the rule of law and the way it's supposed to go. Like, it's just not okay. It's, as you can hear, try to get a little sound of it. It's pretty much, it's a clown show. It's a clown show. Yeah. Mulvaney did not explain why he chose a different course, but his decision focused renewed attention on his relationship with Trump. And it's really wonder, like, most people, if you're working in the Trump White House, you're expected expected to come in there and break the law for the president. You're supposed to say, screw the subpoenas, screw all that, get out of there, get out of there. It is no, I don't have any problem. I have no problem, Mr. President, sir. I have no problem ignoring subpoenas to putting myself in a severe legal jeopardy for you. Like, I'll do that any day of the week. But no, Mulvaney did not do that. People wonder if his relationship with Trump is starting to strain, has been increasingly strained as House Democrats prepare to open public hearings where the president should be impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors. It's symptomatic of a White House that is more dysfunctional than ever, except now it's not just chaos, the long knives are coming out, says Chris Whipple, the author of The Gatekeepers, A History of White House Chiefs of Staff. Everybody, including the White House chief, seems to be lawyering up, because, I mean, not a hard observation to make there from Chris Whipple, but Whipple could not think of any president for a chief of staff going to court rather than obey a president's order. Given that Mulvaney has been willing to do almost anything for Trump, it's remarkable that he's asking for a second opinion. The House is investigating Trump for obviously using the power of his office to pressure President Zelensky of Ukraine into providing incriminating information about former Vice President Joe Biden and other Democrats. At the same time, he was holding up $391 million in congressionally approved security assistance. Mulvaney has become a key figure in the case, identified by other witnesses as a facilitator of the pressure campaign and the official who ordered the security aid frozen at Trump's direction. So he pretty much did the dirty work for Trump, no questions asked, and is now seems to be wavering from that no questions asked commitment to Trump, which seems to be really interesting. Like, that is this move, rather, more than just it being a little bit awkward, it could be a real sign of the first, quote-unquote, slipping cracks that we see from Mulvaney, of the possibility of an idea that he may not be as, quote-unquote, loyal to the T. He's not going to be following everything anymore, because this is definitely a really interesting new change in direction. So Mulvaney told reporters last month that the aid was suspended in part to force Ukraine to investigate a conspiracy theory about supposed Ukraine help for Democrats in the 2016 presidential election, a theory the president's one-time Homeland Security advisor Tom Bossert had repeatedly told him was completely debunked. Hours after Mulvaney's comment to reporters confirming a direct link between the aid and the president's personal political statements, the chief of staff tried to take it back, issuing a statement that saying that was not what he meant, pretty much. Saying, like, can I just do a backseat on that? Can you just delete the footage of me saying that from your notebooks, because that's not what I meant, because they could actually be really, really bad, and pretty much admitting to a lot of the basic points of what they're currently trying to impeach my boss over. Like, that's really bad. That is. So just get rid of that. Thank you. Like, it's kind of insane that that's happening. House investigators issued a subpoena to Mulvaney late Thursday, but he failed to show up for a House deposition scheduled the next morning. Hours later, his lawyers went to court. So yeah, again, I mean, I really wonder what they're going to say here, guys. Like, he issued a subpoena. Like, you're supposed to follow the subpoena no matter what, because it's a subpoena and the House does have that power to enforce those subpoenas. Like, it's not that hard to kind of figure out what they're going to say here, and it's disturbing that this is becoming a normal practice that sets the president that anybody could do it whenever the hell they want. Like, and guess who's probably going to take advantage of that? It's not going to be the Democrats. It's going to be more Republicans trying to get away with worse and worse things of it, because the Democrats are always worried about the public perception. They're not going to try and break the rules. Like, have you ever seen the Democrats do anything ever? Like, this is going to be used. It's going to be exploited and manipulated by people who want to do bad things. Like, just blatantly ignoring the subpoena power of the House. Not a good path to be set on here. And it is very disturbing that they really do seem to be getting away with it. Mulvaney initially resisted getting outside legal help after some of his allies told him he did not need it, but as House Republicans have indicated that they may focus on Mulvaney's role in the pressure campaign in Ukraine, possibly blaming him rather than the president, trying to throw him under the bus. It has become clear that the chief of staff's own interests may be in conflict with the White House on this issue. So that's what's going to take him to break, like, save his own neck here. So, again, a remarkable step of breaking away and not just obeying the boss on this one, actually trying to investigate further and really get into some of the most important crux, really getting to the crux of the matter of this impeachment inquiry, because it could be very serious and very interesting if Mulvaney does decide to kind of take a further unfavorable path to Trump, not just, and this starts here again by not just obeying Trump's order to blatantly disobey a completely lawful and legal subpoena. So that's interesting and something definitely I think worth keeping an eye on. Hey guys, just a reminder that we want to hear your voice. If you like the show, please remember to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, or let us know that you like it by commenting on Spreaker.com or any Spreaker platform, or commenting or leaving a review on whatever platform you may want to get your podcast on. If you like the show, please, again, remember to subscribe, leave a review, because that's how you can support us. Also, if you like the show, please support us by going to Spreaker.com/TSWS, scrolling down and accessing our brand new merchandise store. Yeah, check that out. It's pretty cool. You're going to want to see it. Yeah, I really do kind of highly encourage you to go check that out. You can do it by going to Spreaker.com/TSWS and kind of just scrolling to the bottom there past the page where it says the latest episode, and it says the birth date of the network, December 28th. The Twitter page, the Facebook page, the email where you can actually email me. Like, you can literally email me. I don't know if you know. I have my email up there. I don't know why, but I do. But yeah, and then there's a Teespring link there that brings you to our newest line of merch. It's pretty cool. It's got the OK Boomer sweatshirt, you got OK Boomer long sleeve, short sleeve, and classic crew neck sweatshirt there for you. We have it at $21.99 for the classic tee, $25.99. Like, prices starting at $21.99 and go to about $40 for the full sweatshirt, $38 to be completely precise there. But yeah, I mean, I really do. I think this is probably the best merch that we've released yet, because I think it's indicative of pretty much our whole podcast. Like, the whole network is pretty much one big OK Boomer, in my opinion. Like, that's why I decided to make the merch myself, because it's a really kind of an indictment of the current system. And I spent a lot of time criticizing the quote-unquote boomers who would be considered boomers under this mindset. And there is a real kind of response here, and an interesting one from the young generation that, I mean, I try to really encapsulate in my podcast, like the fear of what is this world going to be like? Will it be underwater, or will we be okay? Will we be able to go to college? Will we be able to, like, because a lot of people have these questions, and we're even seeing it in some pretty surprising places, like places that you think would, where people would be apathetic or more right-leaning in politics. Like, they're coming out and saying something that is inherently probably pretty left-wing. Like, you don't hear a lot of like that kind of push, that kind of criticism along like age lines. I think it started something very interesting and very powerful for the future, and the birth of this kind of quote, as Michael Moore, like the Parkland generation. That we are in right now. So I think that kind of represents pretty much OK Boomer. That phrase sums up what we try to do here on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. So especially here with Newsflash and with Red Alert, kind of pointing out the crazy things that the boomers, quote unquote, would do. So yeah, that's kind of the point of why I decided to release that merch there. And I do want to get into what's also happening right now on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Hello everyone, my name is Spencer Walsh. Here's what's happening on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. We have Newsflash, always new every Sunday, and of course with new episodes occasionally on Thursdays, bonus episodes. Also for you, we have Red Alert, new at 11 p.m. every Monday, Uncultured, new at 8:30 p.m., live at 8:30 p.m. every Friday, the best mix show in the game. And also, we have a brand new line out, repping your generation, insulting the old world, repping the young world. Our new OK Boomer merch line is out now. Check it out on Spreaker.com/TSWS. All right, that's kind of what's going on in the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Let's get back down to some news. And a really interesting article in the New York Times now I do want to get into about South Riding, Virginia, and the areas around